All right, Daily Ticker Time here on a Tuesday, brought to you by Pelican Brewing. Visit pelicanbrewing.com for more details on locations, events, award-winning beers, independently brewed since 1996. Pelican Brewing, born at the beach. Let's go to Las Vegas. We were just talking about Donovan Clingan and the Blazers playing their second Summer League game last night in a win over Philly. Joining us now is friend of the program, Sean Highkin of the Rose Garden Report, rosegardenreport.com, at Highkin on Twitter. Sean, good morning to you. Have we landed on the Klinger, Kling Kong, the Block Lobster? How are we feeling about the nickname game so far for Donovan Clingan? Is anything sticking in Las Vegas?
I don't like any of those. I mean, I guess Kling Kong is the one everybody's going with, but, like, I don't know. I feel like nickname, like, you can't just say, oh, somebody needs a nickname, let's come up with one. Like, it's gotta come naturally. That's always been where I land on that.
Okay, how do you feel, though? I don't know if we just threw it at you for the first time, but we talked about this because Swag also hates all the nicknames, the Klinger, Kling Kong. We had a listener, because he's from Maine, that did call him the Block Lobster. We kind of liked it, but you're not in on it?
I don't hate that one just because of the part of the country that he's from.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like that one you could talk me into, but it's one of those things where, like, you know it when you see it when there's an actually good one. That's kind of where I'm at on it, and I feel like all these ones so far are still kind of forced.
They're definitely being forced. We always have to have a nickname for these guys, as you mentioned, before they
What are we
earn
going to
it.
do without a nickname?
You don't have to have a nickname. Not everybody has to have a nickname.
His name is Donovan. That's good enough. Summer League. You're a frequent visitor of Summer League. I'm curious, is there anything that's been different about this Summer League? We'll get to Donovan and the impact, but Summer League in general, is it different this year in any way? What has it been like so far down at Summer League?
Well, I'll tell you this. I didn't stay for the whole game, but they're usually, like, one of the biggest events of the first night of Summer League is the game between the team with the number 1 overall pick, in this case the Atlanta Hawks with Zachary Risachet, and the team with the number 2 overall pick, in this case the Washington Wizards with Alex Sarr. I have never seen a number 1 pick versus number 2 pick game that has less juice than this one. Like there was no buzz about it. There's no like you think about, like, last year, like it was Wemby versus Brandon Miller, or like the year before that it was like Cade Cunningham, Jalen, or no, it was that year would have been Paolo and Chet, and this was before Chet got the foot injury, so he was playing in Summer League. So like there was always, like, hype leading up to this. As far as, like, current players that are being promoted in Summer League, it's all Bronny. Like, Bronny's the only guy that they're, like, putting on the poster, because nobody's, like, there's no excitement, like, about any of the top guys in this draft class. So that part of it's kind of weird. But other than that, like, you know, I've been going to this thing for 12 years now. My first one was Dame's rookie year in 2012, and so they all as far as like the trappings of it, like, they all kind of run together at this point, but I definitely did notice, like, how little hype and buzz there is around any of the guys in the top 5 of the lottery, like there usually is.
It sounds about right. The way we talked about the draft going into it, not a lot of anticipation, not sure who some of these guys are and how they were going to be in the NBA. That tracks. Bronny is definitely the biggest draw. I'm sure the TV ratings are backing that up as well. Sean Highkin, rosegardenreport.com, is our guest. Let's get to Donovan Clingan. 2 games in now, defensively looking really good. Offensively, a little bit to be desired, but some of that has to do with who he's playing with. What have you made of the number 7 overall pick and how he's looked 2 games in?
I would agree with the offense has, you know, a lot to do with who he's playing with. Bigs never look good on offense at Summer League. Like, I even remember last year, that first game that I mentioned between San Antonio and Charlotte, Wemby was terrible in that game because the Spurs Summer League team didn't have any guards at all. And, like, so when you're a big man, like, you got to have somebody capable of getting you the ball. And this is kind of one of the reasons why I wish that the team had allowed Scoot to play 1 or 2 games. Not even anything to do with Scoot, because I think Scoot's going to be fine, but just to have Donovan have somebody on the team capable of passing the ball so that he would look better on offense. So there's that. I guess that's sort of the negative, but overall, I think Blazer fans have to be very encouraged by what they saw with Donovan Clingan's first 2 Summer League games. The rim protection, the defense, the rebounding, all that kind of stuff that you had, you know, all this hype about him coming into the draft and the reasons that they drafted him and the reasons he was maybe number 1 on their draft board. that's all there. You saw all that pretty clearly. Like he had the two biggest defensive plays of the game last night in the final minute. He had a block of a jumper on Jared McCain, and then he forced a 5-second violation when Jared McCain was trying to inbound the ball, and they just put Donovan on him, and Donovan's a full foot taller than, Jared McCain's 6'2", Donovan's 7'2", so he's got a full foot on him, and he just could not get the ball in bounds. He forced a turnover that led to Portland, scoring and taking the lead. So, the defensive stuff, that's all there. The playmaking, I think has been a little bit of a nice surprise. He had a nice find to Justin Minaya yesterday for a dunk, and that stuff I think is growing. I think you have to wait to judge the offense fully until you see him playing with NBA caliber guards, and so that's going to be in training camp and in preseason. When he's actually out on the floor with Scoot Henderson and Anthony Simons, and guys that are capable of getting a guy the ball, maybe more so than some of these guys that are just kind of on the summer league team to fill out the roster. But overall, I think fans should be very excited about what they've seen in these first two games from the number 7 overall pick.
Sean, it's summer league, and it's not the biggest deal in the world. I would acknowledge it, but I was one that was like, Scoot's not playing in summer league. Yeah, okay, whatever. And I didn't follow other teams. I didn't know what other people were doing. Like seeing Jaime Jaquez, like, I want to play, and he's out there and he's dominating. Brandon Miller played very briefly. You have guys that were rookies in that class last year that had really good years, not controversial, and they're going out and they're choosing to play. You may have just broken the news to me. Maybe I missed this blurb. So it's the team that basically was like, Scoot don't play, not a Scoot decision?
Well, we asked Scoot about it at an exit interview, and he said he wanted to play. And he's here just hanging out, doing like he sitting courtside watching the team.
Yeah.
And, he has various events with Puma and, whatever other Pepsi, I think, is one that he's here doing stuff, hanging out, just doing other stuff. I think he wanted to play, but no, I was told that was an organizational decision. I don't know the exact reasoning, but I think probably it had something to do with the fact that he got injured he looked awesome in the first half of his first summer league game, and then he hurt his shoulder and missed the rest of the tournament. And I think they just felt like, he showed enough the last 6 weeks of the season. We don't need to risk it to have him play summer league again. If it were up to me, to your point, I would have probably let him get out there for a couple of games. I do find it funny. Like I've seen I haven't seen any of Miami's summer league games, but I've seen some of Jaime Jaquez's stat lines, and I'm just like, what is he doing? Like, Jaime Jaquez should not be playing summer league in the second year. We know, what he's older than all these guys. You know what he is. He had a really good year as a rookie. He does not need to be playing summer league. So I would even go the other way on that. If it were up to me, if I were the one making the decision and Scoot wanted to play summer league, I would have let him play 1 or 2 games. But this stuff's above my pay grade, so I don't really know what to tell you.
100%. That's basically what we said as a show. Is like the thing with Donovan. I think that hurt him. I know he didn't shoot the ball well, and he had an air ball 3 in the first. I just think also how many times have we counted? Oh, lop, lop. Nope. Okay, we're not going to pass to the big guy on the roll after a nice screen. I am curious just to touch on something you mentioned there, the playmaking. It's not that we should be shocked, I guess, to see him make good plays. He played in a really good system, and he's coming from a pro-ready program at UConn. But just what that can look like, I think, with guys like Shaden, if Jeremy is still on the roster opening night, setting big screens for Scoot, maybe freeing things up for himself on a roll, or just like what that can kind of mean for this team, even if he may not be an offensive dynamo, to have a big with the ability to pass the ball and keep the ball moving.
Well, we saw it for years with Nurkic, and, Nurkic had his own issues with, as far as, both the health and, some of the other stuff about his game offensively and, some of the inconsistency. But that's one thing, that the playmaking and kind of the ability to be a hub on offense, that was always one of Yusuf Nurkic's strengths when he was here. And you saw at times how well he fit with Dame and with Jeremy and with, Ant and whoever else he happened to be playing with at the time. So, And that was something, when they traded Nurk, that was, for, as the other stuff that DeAndre Ayton brought to the table and Duop Reith, those are a couple of things that, those are a couple of guys that they don't bring that in the same way that Nurk did. And so that was a kind of a different look at center. So now it kind of seems like that was kind of what my thought was, like Donovan Clingan is kind of bringing some of that back from a big man.
Great stuff. Sean Highkin, who was kind enough to wake up at 7:30 in Las Vegas. You having a fun time in Vegas? You do anything outside of Summer League?
No, that's
No.
why I don't want to die yet. But like I figure, so I've been here for 8 days. I've been here since last Monday because I came down for some of the Team USA stuff also, and so I think this is probably. I mean, I've been coming to Summer League for 12 years, like I said. So I've probably been here when I was a lot younger. I probably came for the whole time at some point, but like. I've finally figured out the way to not want to die when I'm out here is I just do not leave my hotel room unless I have somewhere I have to be.
So you weren't at the magic show when Danny got pulled up on stage because I saw that.
No, I was not. That was I think that was a him and the wife situation. I was not. I did not get that invite, but no, I haven't done any of that kind of like I'll go out to dinner with people, but like the thing about me is I don't really like go out and go to clubs or gamble.
You're a
or
live
anything
music
like that.
guy,
Like,
though.
I am, but like I'll tell you what, I looked at the Grateful Dead thing at the Sphere that's playing right now. I looked at it. Like I'm not like the biggest Grateful Dead fan in the world, but like I really want to see the Sphere, and I actually thought about like about justifying it as like maybe I'll do this as a tribute to Bill Walton because he would have wanted me to go. But then I looked at the tickets, and it was like I was looking on like StubHub or like one of the secondary market sites on the day of the show just to see what if it dropped at all. It was like $275 to get in the building. So I was like, okay, I'm not doing that. And on my birthday, on the 13th, I was gonna go to Missy Elliott at that T-Mobile, but the Blazers had their first game that night, so that was obviously out. But so I didn't really get out to any shows, but. I feel like I did it right this year. I mostly stayed in my hotel room outside of going to the gym for Summer League and, a couple of like dinners with friends that I saw while I was out here. But other than that, I was kind of just laying low, which is kind of the way you have to do it when you're as washed as I am.
You probably made a good decision, too, to not do the tribute, because if you're going to do a proper tribute for Walton with Grateful Dead, you would have had to have done mushrooms, and I don't know what that would have done
that goes
for your
with
tribute.
That's not really my kind of party either, so I don't know how that would have gone.
Would have made for some interesting coverage at the Rose Garden Report, see if we get some new spins on things.
Blazers on mushrooms. Let me dive in.
RoseGardenReport.com. Go check them out. Rose Garden Report newsletter and covering the Blazers for a long time down in Summer League at Highkin on Twitter. Sean Highkin.
The only one down there. I think
the only one. Is the only one we
member,
got, man. Enjoy the rest of the time in Vegas. Thanks as always for the time, man. We appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me on, guys.
There you go. Sean Highkin of the Rose Garden Report. The Daily Ticker is brought to you by Pelican Brewing. Visit pelicanbrewing.com for details on locations, events, award-winning beers, independently brewed since 1996. Pelican Brewing, born to the beach.